Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose, and you might be a bit surprised I'm posting this today, but some very interesting things just leaked out, and I think especially on the side of Xbox. You know, they do have a showcase here in just a few days, and with this new information that's been going around, I kind of feel like some people are maybe setting themselves up for failure. But that's not necessarily to say that there's not a reason to believe in this particular leak. So just bear with me, and we're also going to talk a bit about Capcom and a leak from them. But first, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's just go and get right into things, though, because like I said, Xbox has a showcase here in just a few days. Now, we know 3 games that they're going to show, which are Forza Horizon 6, Fable, and also Beast Reincarnation. Now, we've also gotten a lot of information about a secret project that they're going to reveal, and by all indication, it sounds like it will be Double Fine's next game. It could possibly be Kiln, which is some kind of multiplayer project. I don't know. They teased this project years ago, and it is kind of strange, as you would expect from Double Fine. I believe you play as like a pottery type of character. Again, it's weird. I'm not expecting this to be a big game like some people are hoping it will be. However, there is a belief that Xbox may reveal another game beyond just that. And okay, that's where things start to get very interesting, because it's not just Xbox's 25th anniversary. We know that they have Halo, Forza, Gears, and Fable all planned for this year as a part of their celebration, but it's also Bethesda's 40th anniversary. And you have to kind of wonder what they're going to celebrate on their end, because they have some of the most beloved franchises in all of gaming. And that's the thing, because we also know that Xbox and Microsoft want to push Fallout in a major way right now. You know, the Amazon series has been extremely popular for them, and they want to capitalize on that with some new releases. Now, unfortunately for them, Fallout 5 is probably still 5 to 10 years away from its launch, but we've also been hearing about a couple of remasters. There's Fallout 3, and then there's also Fallout New Vegas. Now, I mean, there's been multiple leaks about this, including an internal document for Fallout 3 Remaster back during the FTC versus Microsoft Activision lawsuit. So there's a lot of reason to at least believe that a Fallout 3 Remaster exists, because internal documents says that it exists. Now, I mean, we'll see about New Vegas here recently. Jez Corden leaked out that it exists as well. But now, all of a sudden, there's even more information floating around that might actually indicate that both of these games could be out a lot sooner than what fans might realize, and maybe even possibly this year. Yeah, check this out. This was shared over on Twitter, and as of this recording, it has 595,000 views with 18,000 likes. So fans are going crazy over this, and that's because Rock Solid pointed out that Bethesda is suddenly marketing New Vegas a lot. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are both $10 off right now on Steam. Steam shows a quote-unquote can't review until release error for some people, which that's very interesting. And then if you search Fallout on Steam, 12 games appear, but only 10 actually populate. And then lastly, New Vegas was also updated on Steam database just 3 days ago. So he concluded that Todd is about to shadow drop 2 remasters. Now, that would be a shocker for them to shadow drop not 1, but 2 games within the same year. I mean, my guess is that it'll probably be just for 1, which my bet would be for Fallout 3, and then another would, come a bit later, maybe next year. But, I mean, Todd Howard has stated that the way he likes to release his games is that they just kind of announce them, and then there's a short lead up to their release. So it's highly possible that we could at least get one of these here sometime very soon. And I will say that I searched Fallout on Steam, and it really does show 12 games, but when you click on it, again, it only populates 10 titles. So does that mean something? Is Bethesda actually preparing something on the back end for 2 different games? Or is it just a simple error on Steam? Now, I will say that some people have pointed out that if you click on best sellers, Fallout 2 and Fallout VR appear twice, so maybe that's the 11th and 12th game that Steam is referring to. Regardless of that situation, though, what I'm going to say is that I do feel like there is a lot of smoke around the idea that a Fallout remaster, at least one of them, will release in 2026. Now, with that said, though, one of the reasons that I wanted to put out today's video is to temper expectations because fans right now are freaking out about this. And also, I want to better prepare you all for the upcoming Xbox Developer Direct. I mean, a lot of people are kind of looking at that as a possible place to announce it, and I would love for it to be there, but it's not my expectation that it will be. And the reason I say that is because Bethesda still operates as its own publisher, and they market their games slightly different than the studios that are under the Xbox Game Studios label does. You know, last year, as one such example, Bethesda didn't announce Oblivion Remastered at the Xbox Direct, despite, that being a logical place to make that announcement. Instead, they waited until April, just days ahead of its launch, where they just kind of dropped a live stream where they unveiled it. So Bethesda could do something very similar again this year. I wouldn't put it past them to just do some kind of random announcement here in a few months. But regardless of how or when it happens, I fully believe that these Fallout remasters do exist. There's just too much smoke for them not to, especially in the case of Fallout 3. And I do think that 2026 makes a lot of sense with it being Bethesda's 40th anniversary. This would be a great way for them to celebrate, especially with the Amazon series going on right now. But let me know what you all think. Do you think that we're going to get a Fallout remaster in 2026? And do you believe that there's a possibility that we could actually get two of them within the same year? Now, admittedly, I am skeptical about that part, but I also can't fault people for dreaming because that would be pretty awesome. For me, though, I'm thinking Fallout 3 in 2026, and then Fallout New Vegas maybe in 2027 or 2028. All right, now as for the other leak that I want to talk about, this is for Resident Evil. I mean, last week there was a lot of hopium going around that Capcom was going to announce another Resident Evil remake during the Resident Evil showcase. But like I said then, even though I do believe that there are more remakes in development, it wasn't something that I was expecting. I mean, we've already seen various leaks that adds credence to the idea that they do have some more remakes planned for the nearest future, but at the same time, I don't see a reason for Capcom to announce them before the launch of Resident Evil 9. Their marketing department, I'm sure, wants to prioritize its launch to fully build its hype up to the absolute maximum. And an announcement for a remake could maybe detract from that a little bit. So I think once their marketing tapers off for Resident Evil 9, that's when they'll probably focus on the next entry, which might actually be a lot sooner than some people expect. According to Dusk Golem, which has been, just a goldmine for Resident Evil leaks these past few years, posted this over on Twitter. He said, no, there is not a Resident Evil 5 remake that's going to be announced this year. Instead, later this year, a Resident Evil remake that starts with C and ends with Ode Veronica is going to be announced. I promise you. Yeah, I didn't really keep that one too secret or anything. So there you go. Code Veronica will seemingly be the next remake, and it will get its reveal sometime this year. And I know there's been some back and forth about what should be the next remake. Keep in mind that he did not say that a Resident Evil 5 remake does not exist. It's just not the next entry. So for all those people out there that do want Resident Evil 5, there's still some hopium for it. But I do like the idea of Code Veronica because I think for a lot of people, it will be their first experience with Code Veronica. With it not being a numbered entry, not as many people played it, but it's always been a highly praised entry, and this could be a good way for newcomers to finally see what all that praise has been about. Now, the thing about this leak, though, is that because it comes from Dusk Golem, there is a reason to believe it. It's still a rumor at the end of the day, so you should always take it with a grain of salt, and that's important to keep in mind. But he has been very accurate with his leaks these past few years, and we saw that with Resident Evil 9. He leaked a lot of the characters early on, including Grace and Leon Kennedy. And even after Capcom tried to act like Leon wasn't in the game, he remained 100% confident that Leon, yes, was in the game, despite taking a lot of flack from naysayers online. So ultimately, he was redeemed, and I think it's more reason to believe that he might be right again. Clearly he has some good sources, so we'll see how this one shapes up, but again, I think that this is exciting news. Now, with that said, if you would have preferred a different Resident Evil game, I do understand that, but he has pointed to other remakes that are in development. So this isn't the end of the Resident Evil remake treatment. My expectation is that we will eventually get 0, 1, and even 5 later down the road. To me, I mean, Capcom's just making far too much money for them not to continue the Resident Evil remake projects. So to me, I think it's more of a matter of when rather than if. I think the bigger if for Capcom fans is if Capcom will ever give Dino Crisis the same treatment, because clearly it deserves it. I mean, it's crazy to me that it still hasn't happened. It just seems so logical, but you know, maybe they'll get to that one after they remake all of the mainline Resident Evil games or something like that. Let me know what you all think about this, though. Are you excited for the future of Resident Evil and, you know, hopefully Dino Crisis later down the road? But yeah, let me hear it in the comments below. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode. But until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.